Wow, we are live, ladies. How is
Woohoo!
everybody doing today?
Yes, I'm
It's
well. I'm well.
great, great, great. It is Thursday, April the 7th. Can you believe we're already past the first quarter of 2022? This is
I can't believe it.
unbelievable. Welcome, welcome, everybody. We are the Millionaire Ladies Mob. We are going to educate you, talk to you, answer questions about various topics every week, Thursdays at 8:30 Eastern Time. So we're going to get started with the introductions. I'm going to let whoever wants to go first because our topic today is very timely and we want to get right into it. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first because I talk the most. I am Shalonda Kaiser Mitchell. I am the money queen of the Millionaire Ladies Mob. I can talk about everything money. I love to talk, right? And I love to talk about money. I can be reached on all social media networks as Shalonda Kaiser Mitchell, as well as at my website, ShalondaKaiserMitchell.com. I am a financial planner and here to just provide all of my insights about money.
Thank you. Who's next?
Awesome, awesome, awesome. I am Carmen Bernard. Welcome to our live tonight. It is awesome to have you joining us. We have an exciting topic. Well, some people might not think it's exciting since it's healthcare, but we really believe that this information should be shared and people should understand what options they have so that they can choose the best thing for them and their families. I am Carmen Bernard. You can reach me at carmen10k.com. I help people to protect their income, eliminate debt, create a stream of income that they cannot outlive during retirement, as well as create a wealth for generations to come. Uh, that's me, Carmen, in a nutshell. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Hi everyone, I am Saran Baker. I can be reached at saran10k.com or covered by Saran website, Instagram, and Facebook page. I work on eliminating debt in 10 years or less, including student loan debt, that pesky student loan debt, home mortgages, which aren't as pesky because we enjoy the benefits of living indoors, right? But that's what I focus on, and I love, love, love to help people protect their income and create generational wealth for their families. So I'm excited to be here for this conversation on healthcare and health being our wealth because we just take it for granted. So I'm excited to be here, and I hand it back to you, Aaliyah.
All right, thank you guys. So we have the cash value queen, the debt elimination queen, and the money queen. And I am the healthcare queen. I do a little bit of everything. My name is Aliyah Sharad. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram at, I think it's Cover Your Family. I'm drawing a blank right now, but Cover Your Family on Instagram and Facebook. And we're at the Millionaire Ladies Mob. We're on YouTube. We have Instagram and Facebook. So, what we are going to do today is that the topic is going to be health care, but health is your wealth. And so, some of the things that we do, we help people build wealth with life insurance and other things. But one of the main things that I see, because I see a lot of women building businesses, starting businesses, but one thing that stops them from leaving their job, if they want to leave their job, are the benefits that that job can give you. And don't I love employee benefits. That's what I used to do. I every month I would have a new group. We'd be renewing. I did group insurance, large groups, small groups, and I still have some that I manage today. But my passion is health insurance. That is one of the things that I am passionate about. I've just learned about the debt elimination and cash value just recently. And it is very, very interesting. But if we do that, if we have our great health, if we have health care where we can go to the doctor and make sure that we're okay, that will make us wealthy, because if you have an illness, if something happens to you, then what are you going to do if you don't have great health care? And healthcare can encompass a lot of things. Okay. Healthcare can encompass health insurance. When we do health insurance, I also do cancer insurance, critical illness insurance, accident insurance, not your auto insurance accident, but an accident insurance. We do home care, long term care. These are the things that I am an expert at. I love it. I breathe it. I do it every day because I hate to see families without it. They can be devastated financially, bankrupt. You go into an emergency room and you don't have health insurance, you're going to get a bill and it's not going to be pretty. I told you, Carmen, I just recently went into the emergency room because I had a headache and I kept on just putting it off and putting it off. And I couldn't take it any longer. I had to go to the emergency room and I said, I need some relief. I went to the emergency room. I think I was there for maybe 4 hours. The doctor saw me. They gave me something special to relieve that pain, which I really enjoyed at that time. I enjoyed that. And then about a month later, I got a bill. I was shocked. I was shocked. If I didn't have health insurance, how would I pay that? How would I pay the bill? I have a bill because I have a health plan. It has a high deductible, which some people would consider high. The bill was $2,600. Now, they took an MRI. The doctor came into the office, into the room, talked to me. We, asked me a bunch of questions, and $2,600 later, that's my portion of the health insurance. That's what I do. So when we talk about health insurance, I need to make sure everybody has a great plan because it can break you. Now, even though I got a bill, when I talk to their finance office or when I call the billing office, I have a little special tactics and things that I do so that, if I want to pay the full amount, I pay the full amount. But I also have other, what we call supplemental plans that go along with my health insurance that'll pay a big portion of that bill. Okay. And so that's what I do every day.
Hey, Leah.
Yes.
You raised so many great points there that I'm a health insurance agent as well. And I often forget that, I have these plans, but you don't think about them. It's kind of like out of sight, out of mind, right? But explain to those, I just don't want you to get too far ahead without grabbing some of these things that I thought about, like cancer insurance. I think that if more people knew what cancer insurance actually was, they would be like, where can I get that? Why is that not on the website when I go to get my health care every open enrollment? So can you just briefly explain to those that don't know what a cancer insurance plan is?
Okay. So some of us, when we're at an employer, we work for an employer, they have what we call voluntary benefits. And we have several companies. I'm not going to name the companies, but they come in and they offer you insurance that supplements your health plan. And we take them and we eat them up. Some people don't do it because they think it's a waste of money. So what we do on an individual basis, you still have options. You still have the options. You can purchase a cancer policy. So let's say you have cancer in your family, and 9 out of 10 of us know someone that has been touched with cancer. I don't think there's anybody that doesn't know anyone that has had cancer. Well, you can actually purchase a policy specifically for a diagnosis. You get diagnosed with cancer, you get an amount. You have to take chemotherapy. There's all types of policies. You can get an amount. I have a couple of them because I have a history of cancer in my family. I also, every year, and when you have healthcare, you take your preventive services, and I'll talk about the different types of health insurance plans that you can, that options, okay? But you take your preventive every year. And what is a preventive exam? You go and you take your lab work. The doctor makes you, maybe do an EKG, you maybe get on a treadmill, and it comes in phases based on your age. And so you find out things early. That is prevention. But let's say you don't go to the doctor because you don't have health insurance. You don't want to know what's wrong with you. That's not a good thing for your family. You can
Right.
purchase a cancer policy. It may pay you 10,000, 20,000, 30,000. We have them that will pay up to $100,000 on upon diagnosis of cancer, and that's internal cancer.
And
I
that's
want
when
to
you need
jump
it,
in.
right?
I want to jump in here and ask a question, Aaliyah, because Shalonda mentioned something important that they may offer these things to us if you have an employer sponsored plan, but people don't understand it enough. And you touched on something that's so important. That is a history of health issues that
Mhm.
you should be concerned about, because when you have that history of certain diseases or things like that, that's when you have a higher likelihood, unfortunately, to have those things. And getting coverage for it doesn't jinx you, as they say. It doesn't put a hex on you that now all of a sudden, because you got a cancer policy, now you're gonna jump up.
Amen. Say
Right.
it.
Now all of a sudden it's gonna jump up on you, right? As the old folks used to say. And I
Mhm.
find that in our communities, we we have more fear around these things than understanding, so that we can take action and protect ourselves. And I'll end with this. There's a couple of people that I've talked to recently, and I have friends now that have some form of cancer who are in their 40s like me, and you don't expect it. But there's differences in our lives when we have things and preventive things with healthcare and the different life insurances and the financial plans and all the things that we could structure and put in place in case something happens. Because they always say it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. And so I just wanted to kind of chime in, because I know we get so spooky acting when it comes to these things. And the reality is, if you know that Big Mama had cancer, and Mama and them, Auntie had it, or somebody else has some form, that's when you really should be taking the time to go ahead and put a couple dollars into those policies and do the preventive services. Don't play around when they say touch your tatas, check your tatas. It's October. It's time to go and get that mammogram. But really, really, take a heavy look at it, and don't scare yourself. Just do the right thing and keep moving with sovereignty, because you've already prepared for anything that could happen.
Yeah.
Oh, that is
So
so.
listen, I wanted to go back and touch on a couple of things that Aaliyah said, and some things that Shalonda also mentioned. Um, Here's one thing. I am glad that we are doing this, because I know there's some people out there listening to us that has never heard of a cancer plan. And that is further down, right? I want to go back to some basics in a little bit. But the fact that the fact is, people might not have even heard of that, right? And if you are 23 years old, or 24 years old, or 19 years old, 26 years old, and as Saran said, your mom or aunt or somebody, grandmother has had it, this is the time for you to get such a supplemental plan, this cancer plan. Because when you are young, these things can cost as little as $3 a month. And imagine paying $36 a year. And then, because I have a friend whose 23-year-old daughter ended up having cancer. So imagine paying that $36 a year, because you know that runs in your family, and that doesn't knock you out. I mean, I'm sure different places have different things, but it doesn't knock you out even if you have it as a risk or in your family. And then you get paid, and I don't want you guys to miss that, upon diagnosis, which is when you need to get paid,
Yes.
because you need that money to help with treatment. Guys, chemotherapy can sometimes cost $98,000 per month. $98,000 per
Wow.
month.
Wow.
In that kind of case, your little $10,000 that you're going to get from a cancer policy plan now becomes like, what? What am I going to do with this? But
Right.
imagine people that get those kind of bills and they don't even have that, right?
Right.
They cannot work, they cannot pay their regular bills because they have to seek treatment. And if Aaliyah Sherrod, the healthcare queen, was shocked at a bill that she received, what
Mhm.
about us people? Like, what? You know, my son says all the time, it's a scam. That's what he says. It's a scam. He said, I took the class, Mom, and this healthcare thing is all a scam. That's what he calls it.
Now, hold on now. I think it depends on the plan.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
The whole setup, the whole thing.
So wait, hold on. Let me vouch for your son because he ain't here. But there's some plans out there that you look at and you're like,
This ain't nothing.
Yeah, and it's not just
what
the
are
plan.
y'all,
I'm
what
just
are y'all
telling you.
really doing?
You know
But-
what? It's not just the plan, Shalonda. You know what it is? The infrastructure. That's what
Yes.
it is.
Yes.
It's
But you know what?
Deep down. That's what needs to be changed. And we're seeing some changes happening.
It's
But like you said, it's
Right,
slow.
right.
Changes
But
are
look-
happening. So we're excited this weekend. This week, tears came to my eyes
They sure
as
did.
I realized how many people are going to be helping some of the changes, although they're not coming yet. They're not coming until 2023. And we are beginning to help people right now
Right.
because those changes are not coming until 2023.
But wasn't it crazy that we talked about this and planned this prior to knowing
to.
way
that
prior, yeah, way
Exactly.
prior to
Yep.
those changes. But my husband says, I don't understand why you were so excited. They only said 1,200,000 people will be helped. Why are you so excited?
It's
Because
more
you
than that.
because you
It's
get to
gotta
help
be
some
more
of
than
those
that.
people. But you know what? You said something important, Carmen, that I wanted to tie into to the financial piece is when someone gets that $98,000 a month medical bill. Medical bills is one of the number one reasons people file for bankruptcy
Exactly.
because they go into debt and that debt becomes a burden and even though we took on the debt for our health, when we start taking when we after we got it, we got healed, praise, things worked out medically and you were able to come through and get healed, and now you're looking around at 200,000, 300,000,
And now you get a
400,000
stroke because of those.
of debt for saving your life, right? And now you're stressed. You can't sleep. Now
Exactly.
you got insomnia. Now you're depressed. Now you got anxiety. It's just a cyclical effect. And that's why it's so important to think about it. And one other thing you said, Carmen, that's important with the expansion that we're going to talk about at some point in the future on today. The thing is that we know for sure that there are so many people who don't even have a work sponsored health plan. We know that, and but they still need coverage too, because these are the things that can save you and at least make you whole financially if something were to happen medically.
Well,
Exactly.
I think
Can we
it's
talk
so
about the
important.
3 ways? Can we
Yes,
talk about
but
that?
before we go there, I think it's important to say that it's not just the people that don't have employer sponsored plans. There are people that are on plans now, but first and foremost, it's important to take whatever healthcare decision you need to make serious. And by that, I mean research your plan. I made a post the other day, and it can go in so many different ways, and it can mean so many different things. Just because somebody offers you something does not mean it is the best thing for you. Now, it may be best for me, but it may not be what's best for you. I don't care if you're getting a plan from the marketplace. I don't care if you're getting an employer sponsored plan. You still need to do your research of all the type of plans, even if that means going to the vendor themselves, even if that means going private, because there may be different situations that you need. You may have an illness that you need something directly for that may not be covered in the employer service special plan. And then you can ask to have one of those different plans, even though your employer offers it. So people have, it is one of the number one reasons for bankruptcy. I see it all the time. But people who have these plans, even if they're employer sponsored plans that get illnesses, can still have those really high bankrupt bills. It's
Oh,
important
definitely.
For
research
sure.
those plans.
Absolutely.
Most of
Research
those people
those
that file bankruptcy have health insurance.
Yes.
It's not that they don't. Health insurance don't have limits. That's the reason why, like you said, it's important for you to know what you have and how can you cover those limits or those gaps. Which I wanted Aaliyah, the healthcare queen, to talk about the 3 ways that we could even get health insurance.
So, what you guys said, I was just thinking, okay, I can touch on that. That there's so much. And we have to do this again, but there is so much that you can do. If you get your insurance, we have so many self-employed women. I see them posting all day long. Most of them don't have health insurance because they're trying to build their business and they think that this is not important. So you can get insurance from the marketplace. I think it was 2020, President Obama signed the Affordable Care Act. And you know what? 2010. It was 2010.
2012, right? I thought it was 2012.
It's 12 years old. I didn't realize it was 12 years old. And so back then, I remember my husband back then was very ill, and we couldn't get an individual plan because they underwrote you. You had any sickness, you couldn't get it unless you could get your employer plan. But they had these plans that were so good, and the price was so good, but it was the precursor to the Affordable Care Act plans. And so when that came about, then we had to move him to that new plan. So you can get it on the marketplace, you can get it through an employer, and those two, any marketplace in any state. I'm certified and licensed in all states. Every year I have to go through certifications from each state just in order to learn the plans. There's no way I can learn every plan. However, the key things that I do when I look at a health insurance plan, worst case scenario, what is it going to cost me annually? That's what I look at. It could be, everybody wants a $10 copay, $250 deductible plan. Well, it costs 3 times as much as a plan with a high deductible. So you think about it, that same plan has the same out of pocket as that silver plan with a lower deductible. So I look at a lot of things when I examine a health insurance policy for my clients because they don't think about that. I went to the hospital. Now my bill was $2,600, but my out-of-pocket maximum, so that means it's $3,000.
So you almost there. Yeah.
I'm almost there. So the rest of the year, I can go to the
That's
doctor.
it. That's it. I'm gonna send you my stuff so you can reach your maximum.
Well, I think I'm
She's
net-
almost there. Most
I'm
of the
netted.
times, by the time you fulfill that out-of-pocket deductible, it's November 31st or December
and you're
29th.
starting over.
And then you gotta start all over again. But
Yeah.
right now, Aaliyah's in that great space that she needs to get everything else done she can think of between now and the end of the year.
I'm doing it. I hurt my knee and went to the emergency room on Saturday. So, and I took an MRI and an X-ray. If I didn't have any insurance, they wouldn't have taken all that.
Guys,
those tests.
do not go. I'm going to tell you this right now. I am a healthcare insurance agent. I'm going to tell you right now. Do not go to the emergency room for nothing unless you're dying or limbs are falling off.
That's
do
what
not
happened to me.
go. Do
Tell them
not
where to go, though,
Do not-
Carmen. Tell them where to go because they
Do
get
not
sick
go. Listen,
and they need
just
somewhere to
don't
go.
go to the go to an urgent care. Go to your doctor. Don't go to the emergency room. Another tips here today. Do not go to any of the labs that are located on or near the hospital campus. Don't do it, especially on the thing. These are private labs because the hospital don't do it. They don't have labs, but these are private labs that are in the actual facility and they got to pay the bills to be there. So your thing is 3 times as much right away.
Yep.
So find the lab off facility somewhere 20 miles. I don't know, wherever. Trust me, it's going to be worth it. But
So wait till tomorrow and go to your doctor.
Wait till
tomorrow.
You know what, Carmen? because I knew I was at my maximum out of pocket. I'm like, I can go.
Well, see, then maybe you could go then, but
And
don't
see-
go any any
But
other time.
the thing about it is, a lot of people. I have a client, and every time I think about it, I want to cry. They didn't want to go to the doctor because they knew they were sick. They didn't have insurance, and they knew it was going to be major. Well, because they just kept putting it off and putting it off, they had a major illness and they passed away. I've had clients
Wow.
that do that because it's the affordability. Well, with the Affordable Care Act in 2010, I learned, that that solved a lot of problems. Now, I'm not getting political. I just know it helped my family. It helped my family to make sure that we had what we needed when my husband was sick. He was very ill.
Mm. Yeah.
And a lot of us, the men in our lives, let's talk about the men in our
Let's
lives,
talk about them.
they do not go and get their preventive care. They just, I don't need it. I can, how when you were younger and your grandma used to tape it up and do something with it and put some quinine on it. Those things are good, but
Put some
sometimes
tussin on it, right? Put some
Oh my
tussin on it. That
God.
knee hurts. Put some tussin on that knee and keep going. That's what Chris Rock used to say. Listen, Chris Rock got some of the greatest insurance jokes. He used to say, insurance is for in case ish happens. And that's exactly what it is in
True.
case ish happens. We don't want ish to happen, but we
Right.
want to make sure that we are prepared in case ish happens.
correct.
So you said the employer plan, you said the ACA plan, and then you also said private insurance. Now,
Yes.
one of the things that the Obamacare ACA, Affordable Care Act.
Affordable Care Act.
Thank you.
No, President Biden said the other day in his
President
press
Obama was
conference.
instrumental in letting that do that. So I'm gonna give him his props. It's Obamacare. He even said it
He
himself.
said it. He said it. He said if it
That's
wasn't
right.
for him,
Exactly. He even said it himself, and he took a lot of losses in order to get that done. So we're gonna call it what it is, Obamacare. But that helped your employer insurance eliminate those pre-existing things. That's what also helped you. You think, oh, I don't use Affordable Care Act, and I
Mhm.
don't use that's no good. Let me tell you, use the Affordable Care because that one doesn't have limits. If you can, that is, because sometimes you can't. And that's part of the conversation we'll have later with that family glitch thing. But if you have it and you can, that is way better because some of these other employer plans, they have limits. And that's how you come to, they're not paying $98,000 a month for your cancer plan. And that's why you end up having to file bankruptcy because you cannot cover it's not that part, it's the part that they don't cover that's now you're responsible for. And then private insurance, although it is important in a lot of cases, for most people, it's basically for those healthy people, right? Because number one, don't ever seek treatment for anything. Don't even have told your doctor, oh, this elbow was hurting, because later on that becomes pre-existing.
No. I have a good one for you. Have you ever had any surgeries? Yeah, I've had 3. What surgeries? C-sections. Well, why did you have a C-section?
but that's the thing.
There was a baby coming and it needs to get out.
Was it coming out on its own or was it an emergency? But that's the question. They try to make it pre-existing is what
yes, they will try not to pay anything. And I don't know, I think that might not be good for me to say as an agent, but I'm telling you, that's the reason why I give people options, right? So that they can know what to choose. Don't just decide, oh, this one at my job is more expensive, so I'm just going to get a private plan, and then come to find out your private plan is cheaper, but it doesn't pay for anything.
Well, I
And
want
you
to
know
ask a
what?
question of you,
Yes.
Madam Queen, Healthcare Queen. I want to change the
Well,
conversation just a
Saran,
little bit.
Okay.
let me tell people real quick
Hmm.
who we are and where they can see us, because we're going to need to get some more viewers for all the fines that Carmen's going to get us before
I mean, that's why I'm trying to change the subject a little bit here, Shalana. So let's just go with my question here. So, Madam Healthcare Queen, I want to ask you something that's a little closer to my heart right now, just because of life, right? And
Hmm.
so I want to talk, when you talk about healthcare, one of the things I was always curious, I became very curious about, which really kind of dragged me into the industry and kind of like draw me all the way in, is like long-term care. Is that for everyone? Is that something people should be considering? And if for people who don't know, long-term care is something that really just kind of pays for you when you become elderly and you can't, there's things happen that you can't take care of, right? And if we're all lucky, we'll all become elderly. If we're lucky, we'll all get to be
I
70
like
and
that.
80 and 90 or 95 or whatever. And if we're even luckier, we'll be super healthy and none of this will matter, right? But
That's
I
right.
think it's important, especially in our community, to talk a little bit about long-term care options, because we have so many people who take off to be caregivers for their parents, um, and grandparents, and and we need them to do that, right? But there's a financial aspect to that when we have a loved one who it becomes unable to take care of themselves.
Long-term care is very important, and you need to get it when you're young. That is the best advice I can give someone about long-term care. So I'll give you a scenario. You say I don't need it, but you every day, you might waste a little money every month. But when you're younger, the rates are cheaper. You're healthy. So when you get a certain age, let's say you go into the hospital and you're in the hospital for like a month, then you come out, you have skilled nursing. So insurance pays for skilled nursing, so there's a difference. Skilled nursing, then you have to go home, and there's home health care. Home health care in your insurance policy will pay if you need a doctor to come, a doctor, yeah, some doctors travel, nurse to come in and maybe give you
Right.
IV or help you with, your pain, change your wound. I just went through this with my mom.
Hmm.
So they come in, help you with certain things about your health and the surgery that you went through. Now, what
Hmm.
if you need someone to wash your clothes, help you wash your dishes, make your food, take you to the doctor, do all those kind of things? That is where your long-term care policies can come into play. Long-term care is if you need long-term care, you give your family members respite, is what we call it. So
Hmm.
your daughter maybe works every day, or your son might work every day, but they come to the house to take care of you, because you don't have a long term care policy. If you have long term care, you can get someone to come into your home and stay home instead of going to, maybe a state run nursing facility where you
Hmm.
have to be pretty much destitute to get in there. That's not
Hmm.
the facility that you want your loved one in if you can't take care of them at home. Long term care solves a lot of those problems. And there's some legislation and laws that are coming in where there is a requirement. I think California, there's some states that are putting a requirement in. You know how you have the Medicare tax? It's a long term care because there's so many people that are in nursing homes,
Hmm.
and
Which
it's
is a
on the government to take care of them. But all we need is a little bit of planning. And then in the insurance policies that you guys help me to understand, there are benefits in those policies.
Also, in addition to long-term care,
Oh
right? So
my,
layering, as they say, layer your protection.
you
You can never have too much protection for some
no,
things
no.
as
right.
you get older, because for, like you said, with your mom, and for those of us who have family members that we are
Mhm,
assisting or doing things for, you get to see firsthand how much is needed, whether you're actually doing anything financial or not. The physicality of it and the
mhm.
respite becomes important for the
Right.
caregiver
The
too.
care, yes.
Um we see so much now on the caregiver awareness and things like that, because our caregivers have been really forgotten about, because they go
Definitely.
to care for their loved one and they're home all day and
Yeah.
they're not getting out, and people are forgetting, and or people just don't know what it takes to be a caregiver day in and day out. So
It's true.
I really wanted us to talk a little bit about the long-term
So
care because it's so important. But
so
thank you,
let me
Aaliyah, for elaborating on that.
So let me jump in a little bit here to take Saran's words. So the one of the things that people need to understand, especially when you're young, Aaliyah talked about you need to get long-term care when you are young because the younger you are, the cheaper it is, just like with everything else. But long-term care, what we have to understand, Medicare does not pay for long-term care.
Right.
Okay. Medicare, I'm going to say it again for the people in the back, the
I'm gonna type it
sides,
in
and
the
all
chat.
over. Medicare does not pay for long term care. So, and long term care will devour your savings very, very quickly. And people are like, oh, well, I'll just go on Medicaid. Let me tell you, before you could get Medicaid to get to any of the state run facilities that Aaliyah was even talking about, you got to be close to penniless. Okay. You got to be basically penniless in order to go there. And you don't want to go there. Right. So
Or
that
or you have to spend down all your assets.
well,
Yes.
exactly. That's why I said you got to be close to penniless because they make you spend down the assets. And don't think you will be smart and try to give it to your child now. It's too late. They have a look back. They look back to see the assets, and you're going to have to go take those assets back or whatever.
7 years. 7 years.
Wow.
Different
Is it
states,
7 years?
yes,
Depending on the
depending on
state.
the state, it's different. In Georgia, it's 5 years, but depending on the state, it's different. But this right here could be like spiral so much out. So many different conversations can go from this because I think Saran and I had a conversation about this some time ago. We talk about so many things so many times, but for the most part, it's women that suffer because we are the ones who turn around and be the caregivers for our elderly parents, and we're like this generation of stuck people. And I don't want to say it like that, like so whatever. But we are taking care of our parents. We're taking care of our grandchildren. So we still have
The sandwich generation. We're in the
Yep.
middle and we're taking
right
care of them. And whenever we come out of the workplace, we stop working to be a caregiver, we lose those assets. That income we would have earned over that period of time is
exactly
now
talking about
lost.
that.
And now we go,
Yes,
and that could go into our whole financial conversation about that lost compound interest on money that wasn't saved and put away from that time period.
This
exactly.
conversation has got to be had because just like you said, long-term care. If you miss the boat on long-term care, it's still possible to get home health care, home care, someone to come in your house a certain number of hours. Even if you're sick right now, you can't be, not able to do anything. But there's so many other options that a lot of us are not aware of. It's very tiring taking care of a loved one because you want the best for them. You cooking 3 4 times a day. You're making sure they take their medication. And when you get older people don't like to take their medication. They, and then transferring if you have to go to take a bath or there's so much involved with caregiving. And us as women, we end up being the caregiver, and you want to take care of your loved one.
And
And
here's the
Aaliyah,
reality, no
today,
facility is going to take care of your loved one as well as you will.
That's
They will
right.
do a
right,
decent job, but no one's going to take care of your loved one at the level of love and care that you'll be able to at least give them some semblance of the life you may have known that they led. Little things like that they're a type of person that maybe they make their bed every day. It doesn't matter that they don't realize it's made, but it's something that's a part of their lives. And that just becomes a part of the caregiving process. But I digress. Go back. Let me go back to
Even
long-term care.
outside of the caregiving process, if you want your parents to live in, let's just say that you're working family and you can't afford to take off work. Most of the time it is statistics show, should I say, that it is the mother of the family or the wife that normally takes off of work or stops working to take care of an elderly parent. With that being said, if you can't and you want your family member to be in a nice facility, you have the option of choosing when you have a healthcare plan, when you have a long-term care plan, because it may make it more affordable for you, even if you do have to pay some more monies towards it. by putting them in a facility, you have that option. I think that it's a good opportunity for people to be proactive in getting long-term care coverage, because if I recall, the state of Washington was going to make it mandatory
Yes.
for
Yes.
their constituents to have long-term care
It
coverage.
is mandatory. California
So
is doing it too.
when one state starts to do it, those guys are all there together. They all talk together. They all give favors. So when that happens, more people are going to start following suit. And to opt out, all that's required is for you to show that you have adequate health care, long-term care coverage. So
There you go. Control. And
control.
that's, you want to have control. They don't tell you. And you know, a lot of people, that's their thing, right? They're always talking about, you can't control me. Well, they're going to control you, and they tell you that you have to pay for it. Why don't you do it on your own and show them that you can, whatever? And that's why this conversation is
Because
great.
then they're
I'm
going to put
sorry.
up a portal and they're going to put their price on it.
Yes.
And you're going to have a certain time frame to go get it. And it's not a scare tactic. It's more of making you aware. Do your research. Like I said, again, everything that's offered to you may not necessarily be for you. You decide.
And you know, a lot of times the reason they do this is basically to try to force people to do certain things, to be able to take care of themselves, because they want to move that responsibility from the government or from the companies to you. And so and that's the failed case of the 401k. That's part of that, is wanting you to be able to provide for your retirement later. And that's why they, put certain things in place. And just like that is how this long-term care can come about. But I want you guys to remember that we are the Millionaire Ladies Mob. We're on every Thursday at 8:30 p.m. having these conversations. I want you to understand that we are not just your ordinary, your normal insurance agent that's trying to shove something down your throat.
Wait, I'm normal though. I am normal.
You are normal. I tried being normal. It was the worst 2 minutes of my life. But I'm going to tell you this.
Mine too.
We try to make sure that you are educated about the options that you have so that you can know what to do. If anything in this conversation sparks, and I'm telling you, we're like going all over, but anything sparks, reach out to us and ask a more in-depth question. Remember, we are not your advisors right now. Your situation, we need to know about it so that we can be specific about it. But do not think that because you have gotten to 50, 60, and you haven't gotten long-term care, that all is lost.
Right.
The fact is, you are, I don't know if good company is the thing to say it, but most Americans do not have long-term care. Over 70% of people 60 and above will need long-term care, but I think it's about 3% of people that actually have it. But there are things there. That's one of the reasons, if you've ever heard us talking about insurance with living benefits.
Yes.
That's what we can. So insurance you don't have to die to use. That's one part of the things that you can use to either supplement what you have, or at least have something in place if you are unable to do 2 of the activities of daily living. There's 6 of them. And here's the thing. That's exactly how your long-term care would kick in. So it's not like, oh, well, I have long-term care and I'm just going to get it, or I can just get it for luxury. You have to be able to show that you're unable to perform at least 2 of those activities of daily living. Most of the times that I try to name them, I only can name 5. So, but I have some great sisters here with me that will help me. But it's things like eating and dressing and continence and toileting and bathing and transferring. I did it.
I would
Most
like to
people don't know
come
what
back and
transferring is.
change the count.
Transferring it means moving from one place to the next.
That's
But you know,
right.
being able to move from the bed to the chair, some people
Right.
are unable to do that. Look, I don't know if my friend is watching.
On
I'm
their
not gonna call
own.
her name,
On
but
your
she
own.
broke
On their own.
on their own, yeah. But she broke both of her legs.
Oh,
Both of her legs. I
Oh.
was like, what? Did you owe the mob or something? But both of her legs are broken and she has to learn how to transfer. She thought it was funny. She said, Carmen, I'm glad for that laugh. But, you know, I think I'm funny. My kids are like, Mom, you're not a comedian. Whatever. I am a comedian. But I'm telling you, she had to learn how to transfer herself from the bed to the chair. She had physical therapy to do that, right? I don't know how long that's gonna last. I don't know how long two broken legs, two, not one, but two. So
wow.
I was like, but
Well,
anyway,
Carmen,
I
my sister broke her ankle and she said that was the worst few months of her life. You can't do anything on your own. It was horrible. But
Hmm.
in your financial picture, you have an accident, we've got you covered for that.
yes, we do.
You have a heart attack, you have a stroke, we've got you covered for that. Those
yes,
are the things that we do every day because you're not going to think about it on your own. I had no idea these things existed 20 years ago. You know, I had that, whatever the, the plan where they said, okay, you can get it. Well, when I go to the hospital, I want you to give me $1,000 a day because I walked in the door and stayed overnight or 2 or 3 or
talk a
4
little
nights.
bit about that. What does that mean? Talk a
Okay,
little bit about that.
I know we're jumping all over the place, and I wanted to talk about the Affordable Care Act, but the supplemental plans are just as important as your major medical. You have the
Mm.
cancer plan, which we talked about. There's heart and stroke, so you have a heart attack. If your family history, if you eat too much red meat, you're on keto. I don't know. I'm not going to say that, but you eat too much red meat,
Stop it.
then you
Leave my
have.
keto alone. Keto ain't
I'm
bothering nobody.
saying,
I
don't
know.
come for me and I won't come for you.
Exactly.
I love keto. I love the steaks. You can have as much steak as you want on keto.
You're talking
But
to some eating girls here.
I know. You know what? My father was a meat eater. My father loved meat. He had heart disease. He couldn't stop eating it. He had heart disease. So it runs in my family. When the doctor sits down and asks you, okay, is your mother alive? He's doing it for a reason because you might be predisposed of having those type of illnesses, kidney failure, things like that. So there are policies for that we can help you get an accident policy. So I always give this scenario. My son was riding a bike and fell. He didn't believe in the policies that we have on him and his family. He didn't believe in it. He rode his bike, fell, went to the emergency room. They were going to do surgery. All this, his bill was probably 10 grand. Okay, well, he received a check from the insurance company for like $8,700. Okay. This is what we do. We protect you. We cover you. We make sure you're whole. That's what we do. And
All he
so
had to do was break a shoulder. I'm just kidding.
he didn't really, well, he was supposed to have surgery, but he,
I'm just
didn't
kidding.
really want to. And it was right around the COVID time. But these are the things. If I have an accident, I know I can go wherever I want to go because I'm going to send that explanation of benefits because I have insurance and I'm going to send it and they're going to send me a check for whatever the amount is. But these
So,
are the things that we
Aaliyah,
do.
Well, not even that though. Not even disaster doesn't have to occur. You know, my mom went to get her mammogram and didn't
Wellness.
realize she had a supplemental plan, but she does. Why does she? Right?
Yes.
And she was like, hold on, wait a minute. Did you see this check that I got for having my mammogram? And I said, yeah. She said, how many can I have a year? And those are hefty checks.
Yes, they are.
guys, those are, I call those insurance that covers your insurance because basically what they
Yes.
do is they cover those gaps. Because you might have insurance, but when you have a $3,600 deductible that you have to pay before they pay something, that's where these types of things come in. They cover those gaps. So it's insurance for the insurance, and we can help you with that.
Right. Or an $8,700 out of pocket maximum. That's what the Affordable Care Act plans have. People don't even look at it. Oh, it's $1. Sign me up. What is your benefit? So let's go back
Right.
to the Affordable Care Act. So we
Yes,
talked about
let
all
us.
the supplements. And so in 2010, Obamacare put it in place. Last year, people get subsidies. So what they get are, the government subsidizes your health insurance. So a family of four making, like $60,000 a year can be subsidized with their health care. So instead of them paying $1,500 a month, they could get a subsidy from the government for maybe 13 or 14, and now they're left with paying the difference. That's what the subsidies are. That's what the Affordable Care Act did. Well, last year, um, ARPA is what we call it. It was the American Rescue Plan Act. And so what that did is, in California, the maximum income for a family of four was $106,000. I'm sorry, no, it was probably more than that, less than that. But now it's higher. So higher incomes can still get a tax credit or subsidy. So over what they call 400% poverty level, you can still get a tax credit. So if you make 200,000 in your family of four, you probably still can get a tax credit. So what it did is it increased if you've made more income, now you're eligible for a tax credit or the credit to help pay for your health insurance. And that's what the ARPA, the American Rescue Act, did, with all the other things that it did. But the other day, the reason why we were just crying and we were so excited when they made this announcement that may go into effect, hopefully in 2023, is because people call and they want health insurance. So when you want health insurance and you are offered a plan through your employer, so I'm an employer, I offer you health insurance, I pay for you, but I don't pay for your family. Okay. If your premium was a percentage, and I think it was like 9.8% of your annual income, that insurance was what we deemed affordable, or what the government deemed affordable. That meant your family, now that family premium could be $1,500 or $2,000, but because your premium was affordable, your family's not eligible to get on the Affordable Care Act and get on the exchange and get a plan and get a subsidy. That was the family glitch. We turned away so many people. It's sad when you have a family and you have to pay $1,500 a month just to have your family on the group insurance plan. But that's what hopefully in 2023 will solve that problem. Now I can offer my employee health care, pay for it. Their family can now go to the exchange, get a subsidy. Before they couldn't. That is
right. And that's why we're so excited, because that is huge. But the other thing that I wanted, the reason why this conversation is good, and I hope that there's some business owners listening to us or some self-employed people, please share this live so that everybody else can hear about this. But one of the things is that many people just make the decision that they do not, they're not able to get it. They just they deny themselves. We are saying to you, do not deny yourself first. Do not analyze. That's why we're the professionals for this. The fact of the matter is that with that change in the American Rescue Act, what Aaliyah was really saying is that you could make even more money and still qualify for a subsidy. So you might be a self-employed woman and you're bringing in, $100,000, $150,000. You're thinking, well, I can't afford those kind of premiums. You've checked because you checked with the private people and you can't afford those premiums they're asking. But you do not even realize that even with making that much money, depending on your family household size, you may still qualify for a subsidy. And that's one of the reasons that you want to reach out to us. Also, if you own a small business and you offer group insurance, we might have some solutions for you to lower those costs.
Yes.
We may have some solutions for you to not only lower those costs, but to be able to offer your employees additional benefits. Because with that glitch, with that what was going on, some of you are offering your employees benefits and you're hurting them more than helping them.
That's right.
They would have qualified for a ACA plan, but because their insurance is affordable, not their families, their insurance is affordable, they cannot take it. So, families have to make the decision, okay, do I get the insurance? Yeah, I got some heart problems. I might as well just get the insurance on me while the rest of the family doesn't have it. Or some people are like, that's way too expensive. I'm not going to pay for it. So I'm just going to go without insurance. And a president that I will not name did get rid of that part of the law. However, you still had your family going without insurance. You know what I mean? And now
Just
with
a
this,
bicycle fall away from death.
right? Exactly. And now you can fix that. So with a small group, with you having less employees, 50 less than 50 employees or whatever, you want to contact us and see what options they are for you lowering your costs and giving your employees even more benefits.
Yes.
So contact us regarding that. So if you are a small business or you know a small business or even work for a small business, you tell them, listen, I heard a conversation the other day on the Millionaire Ladies Mob, and they were saying you can do certain things that will help us more. Can I give them can I give you her number? So, and you can send us to any one of us on this platform. We all do health. We just think that it is a good thing to continue to educate our community. So please reach out to us. If this doesn't apply to you, still share it. Tell someone else. Whomever has a business, Mama, I like Saran. Mama and them got a business. Let Mama and them call us because and then there's so much things, especially if you have 10 employees. There are even additional things that we can do when you have at least 10 employees. So call us so that
Yep.
we can
Can I tell you a joke?
Yes.
Sure.
So I had a mentor that used to tell clients, and it was so crazy because he had a very rough approach. And we were captive agents at the time, but he used to tell clients, oh, you don't want a healthcare plan. Okay. Well, let's up your life insurance plan because the medical bills are going to kill you.
only life insurance agents will think that's funny. But
Wow.
since we're telling jokes, there was one lady who went to the doctor, and the doctor told her that her blood sugar, her sugar was high. So she came home and she moved it to a lower shelf. So,
Oh Lord. Okay, well, it's 9:27 and we promised not to hold you more than an hour. So, Aaliyah, you want to wrap us up for tonight because the
Oh,
jokesters, I don't know. We're
goodness.
gonna have to pre-record Carmen for our next live. That's what
I
I think.
know. I know.
But it's
I see the tag.
9:27 and we want to be respectful of your time. And if you're watching this on the replay, please like and share it. Go to our page, Millionaire Ladies Mob, on YouTube and subscribe, on Facebook and subscribe. And you can also join us in a private group on Facebook where we have conversations with
And
people and
Instagram.
answer questions throughout the week. So I'll hand it back to you, Aaliyah,
Wonderful. And we're on Instagram.
and
So
Instagram. Don't forget about
this
them.
has been wonderful. I was so excited the other day when I heard that news that I was like, we've got to talk about it. And just healthcare in general just gets me excited because I know the benefit it can have for a family. So even if you're young, single, 25, 35, 45, 65, 85, we help everyone and
Everyone.
we want to make sure you're covered. My name is Aaliyah Sherrod. I am on Facebook. I am on Instagram. You can private message me anytime. I usually answer my DMs. I do. I'm reachable. You can reach me. So I just want to thank everybody, and we're going to have everyone introduce themselves again so that you'll know who we are real quick. And then an hour is what we do every Thursday.
I'll go first on the outro. Saran Baker, Debt Elimination Queen. You can reach me at coveredbysaran.com or Covered by Saran on Facebook, Instagram, and Instagram. Is there more? And YouTube. Oh, YouTube, you can find me at Saran Baker. And or you can just go to my business card, saran10k.com, where you can reach me. I do debt elimination, retirement planning, generational wealth planning, and much, much more.
Thank you. Super.
I'm Shalonda
Awesome.
Kaiser Mitchell. I am the Money Queen. You can reach me at ShalondaKaiserMitchell.com. You can reach me on Facebook at Shalonda Kaiser Mitchell. There's several Facebook pages. There's also Shalonda Mitchell Life Insurance Agency. I have a YouTube channel. I am a financial planner, accredited. You can reach out to me for all of your financial hardships, or even if you just want to grow. Help you with your savings plan, help you with your budgeting, help you with all things money.
Tell them about your books that you have on Amazon
Oh yeah,
on
the
special
book.
right now.
I am a 3-time publisher. I have some finance journals on Amazon right now. You can search my name, Shalonda Kaiser Mitchell, on Amazon, and you will see all 3 journals. And in honor of Financial Literacy Month, all of my journals are marked down to $9.99. So
Wow.
everyone can afford a journal. Afford to. Give your friend a journal. Give her friend a journal. Everybody gets a journal.
She's like,
And
oh,
did you see
everybody
my
gets.
face on the NASDAQ building this week?
Yay.
Yes, that's right. Congratulations, Miss Shalonda Kaiser Mitchell.
Absolutely,
Congratulations on
congrats.
that. And now I'll do my outro. I believe that we have to bring this topic back. I believe that there's so much more that we have to talk about. For the most part today, we concentrated on under 65 and we did not even talk about over 65 and Medicare and things like that and how this affects women in all sorts of different ways other than what we spoke about already. So we have to bring this back. I also wanted to say this week was 2 bone chilling, tear dropping moments when we saw what was going to be happening with the healthcare plan and how we'll be able to help millions more of Americans. And then today, another bone chilling moment when our very own help
Katanji, excuse me,
Angie
Supreme Court Judge
Justice, yes, Supreme
Katanji.
Court Justice Ketanji was confirmed,
Confirmed.
was
Yes.
confirmed today. A proud moment, and we are going to celebrate her. Again, we're here every Thursday at 8:30 p.m. And we'll continue to bring you these nuggets, these tips, this education because that's what we do. I am Carmen Bernard, the cash value queen. I show you how to grow, how to spend, how to save, how to do everything with your money all at the same damn time. I can be reached at Carmen10k.com, and there you'll find everything for me, all social media platforms. Please, we are trying to grow our following. Please like, share, follow. Thank you.
Thank you guys. Bye, everybody. See you next week.